Let's look at Sunday. We're going to round out week 22. Who are the streaming options? What are we watching for? Who's out? Who's in? Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I'm your new Easter Bunny. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter as always at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. There's $150 if your bet wins. So visit fanduel.com/lockedon to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and we are available on all platforms. So head across, hit the double bang, hit the thumb, ring that notification bell, subscribe. You know how the ways that we can do all of these great things. We're here to talk Sunday, 10 games. Early ones, as usual on a Sunday. What is the time of these games? We've got a 3 p.m. game Eastern, I believe. I think that's right. Let's double check. No, 3:30 p.m. Eastern is the first game of the day. Then you've got some 6 p.m. games, some 7 p.m. games, and a 9 p.m. Eastern game. But 10 games on Sunday to finish off week 22. Let's take a look at them. The first game, Cleveland taking on the Denver Nuggets. What is the schedule like for both of these teams? Obviously, these guys are playing on Sunday, so I'm not including that in the graphic at the top there. Heading into next week, the Cavs go Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they've got 3 quality games in the first 6 nights of next week, and then 3 games in the final week. The Nuggets only play 3 games next week, but they're all low-volume days, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and they have a 4-game final week. In terms of injuries, I'm expecting that Dean Wade is going to be out. The Cavs have not submitted their injury report yet. Caris LeVert missed the last game, putting him as questionable, same with Craig Porter. While for the Nuggets, I don't believe they have submitted their injury report. No, they have not. So Jamal Murray, the headmaster, putting him as questionable, and Zeke Naji, who's missed about a week or so with a back problem, I'm going to put him as questionable now, but that can change, of course. For the Cavs, what do we want to watch? Well, Don Mitchell returned. He was a bit shaky, and he was shaky before he was out anyway. In fact, his whole run post-All-Star break has been pretty rough. We talk about the disappointment over the last 2 to 3 months of what Tyrese Halliburton has done. Well, Mitchell's been similar, but just for a shorter period of time. So we want him to get back to his best. For the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon's just like, look, honestly, for the Nuggets, what the hell do I watch? There's not a lot to pay attention to, honestly. Gordon's very up and down. And I do think the Nuggets are sort of not, they're obviously not rolling at their best form. So I just want to see Gordon do a little bit more, something where I can feel more confident in holding on to him. In terms of guys getting boosted with Dean Wade likely out, we're seeing George Niang play a lot more. Now, I think some of Niang's value in the last game was because Caris LeVert was sidelined too, but Niang is at least putting up stream level value. And the other guy on Denver we look at is Reggie Jackson, of course, under the potential scenario that Jamal Murray is out, but that may not be the case. Philadelphia and Toronto is the second game that we're going to take a look at. There's a lot of stuff happening in this one. Philadelphia does play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday next week, with 3 games the following week. Toronto, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So only 2 quality games for them and then 4 in the final week of the year. Time for me to bring you the gigantic Joel Embiid news. There is no news. He's not out. I mean, shit. No, he is out. He is out. Embiid is not returning, I don't think, at any point this week. Maybe he comes back in week 24. But, again, nothing to me has changed at all with Joel Embiid ever since the knee injury happened. This is our expectation that he would either miss the regular season or he would return for the last 3 to 4 games. So your debate on whether you want to add Joel Embiid is going to depend on, A, how many waiver moves you got, what your matchup is. Do you actually play into the final week of the season? Because I just don't think he's going to do anything this week. Melton's out. Emmanuel quickly remains out for Toronto. Jonte Porter's out. Ochai Abaji's out. DJ Carton is out. RJ Barrett is questionable, though. It does seem like he is very much trending towards playing. How much he plays over the final 8 games of the season after Sunday is going to be a big question mark. Same with Quickly. I would expect Quickly is back for that game on Tuesday, but I don't know. But obviously you get Barrett back into your lineup there. For the Sixers, Kelly Oubre, I need to always watch what's going on with this man because one of the more inconsistent performers that are out there. The minutes are usually strong, but sometimes they're not. And efficient scoring, Maybe. Probably not. Assists? Almost definitely not. Random 6 blocks games? Yeah, have one of them occasionally. Like, it's all over the shop. For the Raptors, Gaz Trent. What happens to Gaza with RJ likely back? He's been playing with a very, very high usage. He's doing the things that he normally does. Inefficient scoring with some steals. Like, that's all he does, and it's all he continues to do. But it's about minutes and usage here now if Barrett's back. Mo Bamba is playing decently well. He's still only getting low minutes, 20 minutes a night. That's hard to rely upon, but the numbers have been all right. So we watch his little boost that he gets. And then with quickly out, Javon Freeman-Liberty possibly gets a start because they're definitely not prioritizing Bruce Brown. And I don't think they're going to start Dick or Trent at point guard or Barrett. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do. At least there is some sort of boost there for the big fella, Javon Freeman-Liberty. Miami and Washington is the third game of the day. Miami, some updates on the injury report. We'll get to that in a sec. They play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday in week 23 with 4 games the week after. The Wizards go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday with 3 the following week. Hero is out. Caleb Martin is out. But Duncan Robinson is probable, so he's back. Little Chungus, Nikola Jovic is probable. He left the last game with an injury. And for the Wizards, we know that Tyus Jones is out. I don't think he's returning this season. And Rashawn Holmes missed 1 game with the toe injury. Now he's back to questionable. Would they just immediately put him back starting over Bagley? I don't know. There's been no real predictability in terms of who they like more there. So I wouldn't be super rushing to get him. And the other one that has popped up now is Kyle Kuzma as questionable. I think we're going to get a lot of questionable tags here for Kuzma over the final 8 games of the season. Landry Shamet is out and Eugene Omoruyi is out. For Miami, Duncan Robinson should just go back and start over Patty Mills. I would be very, very surprised if they didn't start him over Patty Mills. And for Washington, I want to see the Bagley-Holmes scenario. 29 of Bagley's enough, but if they play 24 each, or if Holmes starts, then it's hard to consider Bagley a must, but I am still considering him that. Guys getting boosted. For some reason, we're getting good minutes out of Haywood Highsmith, and with Caleb Martin out again, even though Jovic is back, Highsmith at least is good for 20 minutes, and that's only a deeper league sort of guy, but he's at least there, while Corey Kispert is getting big minutes most nights. Kuzma probably won't play. Bilal's out. Tyus is out. Now, out of Kispert, you're not going to get much more than points and threes, but that might be all that you need in this sort of a situation. The Clippers and the Hornets. The Clippers play relatively solid schedule. Tuesday and Thursday they got, then Friday, Sunday with 4 in the final week. And the Hornets go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday with 4 the final week. At the moment, the only bloke who isn't ruled out for the season who's on the injury report is Alexei Pokusevski, who is questionable. Now, if Poku is out, it gives a little bit of a boost to like a JT Thor and Grant Williams. JT Thor would probably come into the rotation, but Davis Bertans and Grant Williams get a couple extra minutes there as well. For the Clippers, I don't think we're actually going to figure anything out with Ivica Zubats, but we just continue to watch the minutes. Sometimes they're 23. Last game, they were like 34. Is this a good matchup for him to play 34? Probably not. But honestly, I just don't know. They change it up seemingly every game or two. For the Hornets, Grant Williams has been solid enough. Is he enough to consider a must-roster guy? I don't think so. I wouldn't be prioritizing him, but he can always have a solid enough game. In terms of guys getting boosted on the Clippers, I don't think there's actually anybody. Well, for the Hornets, we've got Vasily Micic, who continues to be the starter, continue to play 30-plus minutes, and will continue to do that all season. And both him and Trey Mann are 12-team league players. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. So you can bet on all of your favorite NBA teams and NBA players with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, futures, individual game money lines, spreads, totals. It's all there. So check it out over at FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NBA, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay. The next game up, we've got the Lakers and the Nets. The Lakers head into this one with a very weird schedule for week 23. It is a pair of back-to-backs, which is terrible news if you have LeBron James, because they play Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, Sunday. LeBron's ankle is all wrecked, so just be aware of that. And then they play 3 the following week. The Nets go Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and then Sunday with 3 in the final week. LeBron's already questionable for Sunday, so is Anthony Davis. LeBron's ankle continuing to cause problems, but we did get some positive news for the Lakers, and that is that Gabe Vincent might be back. He's questionable. Vanderbilt remains out, so does Christian Wood. While for the Nets, Cam Johnson might return. He is questionable, where Dennis Smith is probable. Now, the potential returns of Vincent doesn't impact a huge amount. Would he even play with Dinwiddie, Reeves, and Russell there? I don't really know. Would he play over Cam Reddish? Not really the same position, is it? The Johnson one is interesting, though, because we've been getting a lot of Dorian Finney-Smith, been getting a lot of Trendon Watford. And if Johnson returns, I don't think he's going to be an ad, but they've got 3 quality games next week, which is interesting. Dennis Smith also will take a little bit of the top, I would guess, off Dennis Schroeder. In terms of what we're watching, well, it is really LeBron. Like, how does he look with that ankle problem? How much does he play? Does he play? And then for the Nets, Mikal Bridges, whose last couple of games have been much better. Obviously, it's been a horrid 6 to 8 week run, but the last couple have been better. Let's see if he can build on that. Rui Hachimura continues to get the boost with Vanderbilt out, and I expect that'll happen, but we got completely ruined last game. What do you have? 14 points with no rebounds or assists or steals or blocks? That's what he is. The other guy really getting the boost in Brooklyn has been Trendon Watford, because we're seeing the weirdness with Day'Ron Sharpe moving in and out of the rotation. But is Watford getting that boost because of the situation with Johnson being out? Do they prioritize him over Finney-Smith? I don't know. He's been relatively impressive, Trendon, so I do want to see which direction that goes. The Warriors and the Spurs. In the next one, the Spurs have won 3 in a row somehow. And they're looking for their 4th in a row here. The Warriors, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday next week with 4 games the following week. The Spurs are one of the worst schedules next week. They play Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, and then 4 in week 24. Kuminga and Klay Thompson and Dario Saric missed the last game for old mates. We just got an update actually on the Nuggets. Murray is questionable. Jokic is probable. Zeke Naji is out. All right, we just got that. And Karis LeVert upgraded to probable for the Cavs. So that just all came through. So W for that. Yeah, we got no Kuminga, no Klay or Saric for the last game for the Warriors. Their absences, not really Saric, but the other two, it's huge for the value of other guys. Well, for the Spurs, we got the update on this. Both Jeremy Sohan and Keldon Johnson are out. Actually, on Klay and Kuminga, both of them are officially questionable. So they're officially questionable. All right. The Warriors, Chris Paul. He'd been really quite poor. And then with Klay out last game, he started and looked good again. Now, 23 minutes of Chris Paul is not a must-roster guy. But if you're going to have random illnesses like what happened to Klay, then that's going to boost him very clearly. The guy to watch for me on San Antonio, or one of the ones I want to watch, is Julian Champagnie. Both Sohan and Johnson are out. I don't know if you get any Zach Collins and Wemby playing together. But Champagnie, who's already starting at the 3, he's going to have to play more in this scenario. Guys getting boosted while Trayce Jackson-Davis continues to get boosted. He'll get boosted even more if Kuminga is out. And then Chetty Osman probably gets some sort of a boost in San Antonio there as well. He might turn into a deeper league stream guy. Dallas and Houston. The red hot Rockets. The Mavericks. The Mavericks, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, they play next week. The Rockets do the same, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Both teams have 4 in week 24. We know that Josh Green is out for Dallas, and I presumptively put Luka Doncic on the injury report as questionable. He is now officially questionable. Jason Kidd lied and said that everything was fine with Doncic, so yeah, of course he had to be questionable. And then Cam Whitmore looks like he's returning for the Rockets. I want to watch Luka because he was not comfortable at all. He's had bleeding out of one knee, he banged the other one, he was limping up and down the court, he was questionable heading into the game. He entered this season with multiple lower body problems as well, and he's played gigantic minutes all the way through. You just worry that at some point, we hope we don't get anything serious, but there's going to be at least something happen at some point with a game off here and there, because he looks banged up. For the Rockets, Jalen Green, obviously we just keep watching this because it's an insane run. At some point it cools off, but he's playing 40 minutes a night as well. Derek Lively is getting a little bit of a boost for Dallas. Watch that, because the last 2 games we've seen only 24 minutes from Gafford, and Lively pushing to 23 again. Are they going back to that again? We have to watch that. Some of it was foul trouble for Gafford, but not all of it. And then for the Rockets, finally, we saw Amen Thompson start these games without Şengün and played 26, 27 minutes. Played 40 last game. So they've just finally said, all right, we're just going to let him roll and we're going to see what happens. Whether that happens in this game against Dallas, I don't know, but I obviously love what I see from Amen Thompson. He's a really interesting player. How they fit Cam Whitmore in will be very intriguing. Chicago and Minnesota. Is this it? Is this the one that Andre Drummond gets to start? We circled this game ages ago when Towns was playing and said, well, maybe this is another opportunity here for Drummond, but Towns is out. But they're starting Reed and Gobert. Is Reed big enough for Drummond to be the starter over an Alex Caruso or Ayo Dosunmu? I don't know, but the potential is there because both Caruso and Dosunmu were questionable for this one. The Bulls have a shocking schedule next week. I detailed this specifically in the Week 23 preview show, talking about the possibility of dropping a Caruso or Dosunmu next week because of that schedule. And the Wolves go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Julian Phillips also out. Now, of course, when I created this, the Wolves had no one on the injury report, but now they've fake injured Anthony Edwards again, fake injured Rudy Gobert again, and Jordan McLaughlin is on there with a questionable tag. And when I say fake injury, every single game Anthony Edwards is on the injury report as questionable with a finger injury, and Gobert is questionable with a rib strain, and they play through all of them. I don't think they're going to sit, but I'm going to tell you that they have chucked him on there. Andre Drummond's the guy I want to watch. Does he start and play 26 minutes? I would say that chance goes absolutely skyrockets through the roof if Caruso or Dosunmu are out. So we're definitely watching that. Well, the last 2 games, Jaden McDaniels has actually scored one. Now, I need to see that for 30 games before I feel any level of confidence. And a lot of it's come on really high shooting numbers. So let's watch it, though. Javonte Green, someone to pay attention to as well. Recently signed, Green is playing solid minutes, 15 to 17 minutes off the bench. There's still no Julian Phillips, but if we do get a Dosunmu or a Caruso out, not that Green is necessarily the same player, but he's a very good defender who can play out on the perimeter, so he'd be someone to get a little bit of extra run in those deeper formats. And then Kyle Anderson just continues to get that boost. He just does little bits of everything every single game, and that's useful for, again, the majority of people. The Oklahoma City Thunder. The New York Knickerbockers. That's the next game that we're taking a look at here. The Thunder go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday next week. The Knicks go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Shea is doubtful again. That is 3 in a row for Gilgeous-Alexander, which very clearly is not ideal for an injury that we sort of thought was nothing or just a one-game rest. And now, that's going to be, looks like 3 in a row for Shea. Anunoby's out, Randall's out, Hartenstein's probable, Alec Burks is probable. Interestingly, Mitch Robinson is questionable. Why? I know he's just coming back from ankle surgery. This is not a back-to-back game. They do have a back-to-back coming up Thursday, Friday, but why is he questionable here? I'm not interested in rostering Mitch Robinson in 12-team formats. I've said this the whole way through. Not interested. Low minutes, and now we're getting a injury management situation. I suppose when you come back 3 months earlier than your initial injury return timetable, there's going to be a little bit of soreness. So just watch that one. What are we watching for the Thunder? Cason Wallace, putting up some pretty good numbers the last couple of games. He's at least streamable for steals. And then Mitch Robinson, I just want to see what they do with him. In terms of guys getting boosted, they started Aaron Wiggins last game. Wild that 2 games ago he was a DMP CD, which was a stupid decision at the time. But this man is one of the most efficient wing players in the entire league. Just look at his shooting numbers. Just go and look at them. They're ridiculous. And if he starts, there's a little bit of something there in terms of streaming stuff. And then, of course, for the Knicks, they're boosting the absolute hell out of Vajus McBride. With OG out, we're getting a ton of McBride. It pays off most of the time, and you should be very, very invested in it. The last game of the day, the Utah Jazz, the Sacramento Kings. The Jazz have a bad schedule. Tuesday, Friday, Sunday with 4 games the following week. The Kings go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday with 4 into the final week of the year. On the Jazz side of things, Lauri Markkanen missed the last game. Of course, this is his last 9 games. Missed 31 minutes, missed 36 minutes, missed 34 minutes, 42 minutes, missed. Is he going to play in this one? I'd say there's a chance of it. Is Jordan Clarkson's legendary groin/back issue going to allow him to play? He's played 1 out of the last 8, a random 33-minute appearance, and then his back gave out. I don't know that he's going to go. In fact, I'm pretty sure, but both... Actually, you know what? I don't think either of them play here, Clarkson and Markkanen, but I don't know. What we did get news of is that Malik Monk has a sprained MCL and he's out for the year. For us anyway, for fantasy, he's done. The regular season's over for Malik Monk. The regular season and the playoffs are over for Fantapound's Kevin Huerter. Sasha Vezenkov is questionable, I believe, unless that status has been changed. I think he has now been ruled out, Sasha. So that ankle sprain, that grade 3 ankle sprain, just continuing to linger for Vezenkov. But that's a lot out. No Vezenkov, no Lyles, no Monk, no Huerter. We did get a quote from Mike Brown saying that in order to get their playoff seeding right, we're going to get a lot more minutes of De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis is getting like 36 minutes a night anyway. Fox is playing, he played 40 last game, 36 the game before that, 37 the game before that, or 2 games before that. What the hell? What are we going to do? We're going to Thibodeau on? Keep an eye, because they've got no guards, obviously. Keontae George is really in a slump with the shooting, and with how bad the schedule is next week, he is eminently droppable. You don't have to hold through that. Keon Ellis, we worried a bit about the floor, saying that like he was in that Huerter role, and Huerter, if he has a struggle night, they would play him 22 minutes and they give more to Monk. Well, now both are out. So the options behind Alice are Davion Mitchell, Chris Duarte, and Kessler Edwards. So the floor of Alice feels much, much better. Taylor Hendricks is getting boosts. He'll be even more boosted if Lowry is out. I wouldn't say he's a high priority with a bad schedule, but we're looking at him. And then Keon Ellis, I think, is a pretty high priority player. With both of those injuries opening up a ton of stuff for him for now until the end of the regular season. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. It's the most exciting and it's the easiest way to play DFS as well. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 individual player stat projections and you watch the winnings roll in. And it's demon time on Prize Picks right now because you can use one of those squares with the old demon on it to win 100 times your money. That's it. With as little as 4 correct picks, you can turn $10 into 1,000. You got the demons, you got the goblins, different payouts on those squares. So check them out and try to get that 100 times payout with as little as 4 correct picks. It is simple to play. You can get your entry done and sorted in under 60 seconds. Don't take more time and pay attention to it, but if you need to, you're in a rush, you can get it done really, really fast over on PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedonnba and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. That is prizepicks.com/LOCKEDONNBA. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It is that easy. Okay. We're not going to do a huge amount of schedule stuff at the moment because I just did a whole show on the schedule. And with the way that things go across this week, honestly, there's no real periods where you can +2 anything. There's no like, well, this team's got 3 and 4, and then this team's got 1 and 4, and this team goes 4 and 6, and this team's 2 and 6. It doesn't exist all week. This week is absolutely overloaded. There are 26 teams playing 4 games this week. Everyone's got games all the time. It is a weird schedule. What we do need to have a look at here are the back-to-back. So that's Sunday heading into Monday, end of week 22 into week 23. We've got the Nets, we've got the Hornets, we've got the Bulls. So if you do have a Bulls guy, it's great to have them Sunday, Monday, and then you can jerk? No, you can jack some of them off after that.
Get that garbage out of here!
Hornets guys have a pretty good schedule as well, and that's a nice little back-to-back that leads you into that week. So we're just going to go straight into who can you add on Sunday to hopefully either secure your championship or to put yourself into the finals week. God forbid, it's to put you into the semifinals matchup. For Yahoo Points Leagues, #1 on my list is Trayce Jackson-Davis. These are all guys that are 50% plus available. Trayce Jackson-Davis. I've got Andre Drummond on that list. I don't know that they're going to start him, but there are 2 opportunities with Dosunmu and Caruso both questionable, or they could just start him over those guys. So I'd say you've got a 75% chance. Is that how odds work? It's close enough. 75% chance of Drummond starting. I think actually it's probably higher than that. Juice McBride, pretty good stream guy, I think. Vasily Micic, Corey Kispert, and Keon Ellis. The stream guys on ESPN points, all the same. Jackson-Davis, Drummond, McBride, Micic, Kispert, Ellis. They're my top 6 guys there. For category leagues, tried to cover a different array of roster percentage numbers. For points, the points category, Corey Kispert, anyone who's italicized on this list is available in over 70% of leagues. Everyone who is underlined is over 80% of leagues, and the other blokes are 50% and above. So I got Corey Kispert. This is for points category. Corey Kispert, Juice McBride, the pencil Harrison Barnes, Barnesy. Duncan Robinson, Vasily Micic, and Grade A Dick. For threes, Dunky Robinson, Juice McBride, Corey Kispert, Davis Bertans, Keon Ellis, and Harrison Barnes. For rebounds, Andre Drummond, Nick Richards, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Taylor Hendricks, Mo Bamba, and Jock Landale. For blocks, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Mo Bamba, Derek Lively, Nick Richards, Peyton Watson, Taylor Hendricks. For assists, we're looking at Vasily Micic, easily the best option on the board. Kyle Anderson, Trey Mann, Blake Wesley for very, very deep leagues. Kyle Lowry, and then the Winter Soldier, Max Strus is 50% plus available. For steals, very easy, these top 2, Keon Ellis and Juice McBride, followed by Chris Dunn, Andre Drummond, Dennis Smith Jr., and Trey Mann. For your field goal percentage streaming, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Derek Lively, Nick Richards, Mason Plumlee, Jackson Hayes, and Terrence Mann, good field goal percentage guy for the Clippers. And for free throws, yes, he's been terrible, but Bruce Brown's up the top here. Tim Hardaway, Duncan Robinson, Davis Bertans, Malaka Branham, and Grade A Dick. And that is it. Hopefully, you're able to get the moves right to win you your fantasy matchup, league, whatever it is. And you want to find out more stuff? Well, go and hit the thumbs up. Go and subscribe. Ring the bell as well, guys. we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.